I'm the managing partner of the Social Starts Funds and Joyance Partners. And working at these funds is kind of the dream job for a long-time literate geek, which is what I am. So started as a journalist, studied physics when I was young and had a first career as a journalist writing about science. And then when computing happened in the 1980s, I became the founding editor of the Ziff computer magazines, and then various parts of the Ziff Davis organization, wound up as the executive vice president at Ziff. And then with Bill Losey, the founding partner here, jumped to SoftBank, worked for Masayoshi Son when he first came to the US, and he began pounding money from his company into very early internet startups, and that's where I really began doing this. And worked on a whole range of foundational internet companies at or with SoftBank. First chat site, first spidered content site, became part of Google, first site for women, first digital media site. Was a partner at a big VC firm called Red Leaf in the Go-Go 2000s, and Bill and I got back together to create the fund in 2012, and we felt that the societal and business impacts would be far greater than either of the other tech revolutions we've been involved in, and we wanted to be helpful, and that's why we started the fund. We're absolutely committed to the very beginning, what we call moment of inception investing, and most funds get involved at the beginning only as a grudging expedient. It's what funds do early in their lives when they're small and can't get involved later. It's what they do as a way to maybe get to know a company early so that they can participate in the later rounds when the check size is really bigger and more interesting for them. But it's not core for them, and for us it is core. And because that's true, our funds run somewhat differently than most funds do. So most venture funds are in one place, a New York fund, a Silicon Valley fund, and we're everywhere. Team here in San Francisco, in New York, in Austin, Texas, Tokyo, Boston, Portland. We want to be wherever great founders and great companies might be. I'm in a sea of extraordinary young people. They're committed to contributing to their future. They're extraordinarily courageous. They come from all over the world. And it's just a blessing to be able to get up every day and hang out with these kids. And the fact that beyond talking with them and learning from them, we as a group have an opportunity to sometimes help them. And then through them, hopefully to help the rising generation define how they want to live, how the planet's going to function. It's just extraordinarily fun. It's the classic case of I'm just amazed I get paid to do it. There are a number of things we as a fund remind ourselves about. One is that we know that we don't know. So some of my colleagues sometimes say, I'm really good, I know how to pick the winners. I know what's going to happen in the future. And to that we say, no, you don't. That the extrapolation from the present into the future, in my experience and everything I've ever read, is always wrong. And we say that the rounding error wins the future. It's the unexpected, that no one at a big media company 15 years ago would have sat down and said, some guy's going to start mailing CDs of movies to people, and that company's going to completely clean our clock. Or that if you want to create a company that is so powerful it starts to bend the way politics works worldwide and can change who gets elected president, you start that company by having guys rate girls at Harvard. It never works the way you think it's going to work. And so we don't try and guess the future. We're just trying to deal with what's in front of us right now and what might happen in the next year or two, and how are we talking here to an extraordinary human being who, with his or her team, has access to extraordinary technology. And so we view ourselves to some degree as custodians on their behalf. We're helping in our little way create the structures for the world that they're going to live in and that we won't. Our fund exists because the rising generation always invents the future in which it lives.